There are places on our planet that remain shrouded in mystery. They are lands that hold their secrets close, whispering them only to the wind. Ethiopia is one such place. It is a name that often conjures images of history, of ancient kingdoms and faiths. But there is another Ethiopia, one that exists beyond the pages of books. This is a land of breathtaking drama, of landscapes carved by fire and time. It is a world of contrasts, where searing deserts meet cool highlands, and where life has adapted in the most extraordinary ways. To truly know this country is to step into a story that is still being written, a narrative older than humanity itself. We are invited to look beyond the familiar, to see this corner of Africa not just as a cradle of civilization, but as a crucible of life. Here, nature has sculpted a stage of unparalleled grandeur. The Great Rift Valley, a colossal tear in the Earth's crust, runs through its heart, creating a world of extremes. It is a place of profound silence and sudden, thunderous noise. It is a land that demands patience and rewards it with moments of pure, unadulterated wonder. This journey is an exploration of that wonder, a quest to uncover the secrets hidden in plain sight, in the very fabric of the mountains, valleys, and skies. Imagine a land where the ground itself seems to breathe, where volcanic plains steam under a relentless sun, and where mountains claw at the clouds, their peaks lost in mist. This is Ethiopia. It's a realm where every shadow holds a potential story, and every gust of wind carries an ancient echo. Our journey will take us to the roof of Africa, to plateaus so high they feel like a separate world. We will follow the course of ancient rivers that have carved immense canyons over millennia. This is not just a place on a map. It is a living, breathing entity, a geological masterpiece filled with biological treasures waiting to be discovered. The invitation is simple: to listen. To listen to the rustle of the wind across the vast, empty plains of the Danakil Depression. To listen to the distant cry of a bird of prey circling high above the chasms of the Bale Mountains. To listen to the quiet footsteps of creatures found nowhere else on Earth. In this ancient land, the story is not told in words, but in the elemental language of nature. It speaks of survival, of adaptation, and of a raw, untamable beauty. It is a story that has been unfolding for millions of years, and we have the privilege of witnessing a single, fleeting chapter. The landscapes of Ethiopia are a testament to the raw power of our planet. They are canvases painted with the most dramatic of colors, from the deepest blacks of volcanic rock to the fiery oranges of a desert dawn. The Danakil Depression, one of the lowest and hottest places on Earth, is a world forged in fire. Here, the ground is a mosaic of salt flats, sulfur springs, and active volcanoes. It is a landscape that feels almost alien, a vision of what our world might have looked like in its violent infancy. The air shimmers with heat, and the silence is so profound it feels like a physical presence, a stark reminder of nature's formidable power. High above this searing cauldron, the Ethiopian highlands rise like a fortress. These are the mountains that give Ethiopia its name as the roof of Africa. They are a world apart, a cool, green sanctuary from the heat below. Great escarpments fall away into bottomless valleys, their sheer faces striped with the layers of geological time. Rivers, born in these highlands, have spent eternity carving their way through the stone, creating canyons so deep and vast they rival any on the continent. Standing on the edge of one of these immense chasms, you can feel the sheer scale of time and the patient, relentless force of water. The visual contrast is startling. One moment, you are in a world of sun-baked earth and shimmering salt. The next, you are surrounded by lush plateaus and mist-shrouded peaks. The Bale Mountains, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, are the crown jewels of these highlands. Their jagged spires and knife-edge ridges create a skyline of breathtaking drama. Here, the light plays a constant game of hide-and-seek, with shadows stretching and shrinking across the valleys, revealing and concealing the contours of the land. It is a high-contrast world, where the deep green of the vegetation meets the stark gray of the rock under a brilliant blue sky. These are not static landscapes. They are alive with energy. You can feel it in the tremors of the volcanic earth, and see it in the clouds that gather and disperse around the mountain peaks. The Great Rift Valley is a constant, powerful presence, a reminder that the land here is still in motion, still being shaped. The forces that created these mountains and valleys are not relics of a distant past. They are active and ongoing. This dynamic geology has created a mosaic of unique habitats, isolated islands in the sky that have allowed life to evolve in remarkable and unexpected ways, setting the stage for the unique creatures that call this land home. The soundtrack of Ethiopia is as varied as its landscape. It is a symphony composed by the elements themselves, a constant and immersive score to the drama of life. On the high plateaus of the Simien Mountains, the most dominant sound is the wind. It is a ceaseless whisper, a current of air that has traveled over vast empty spaces. It rustles through the giant lobelia plants, their tall stalks swaying like sentinels in the breeze. This wind carries with it the chill of the altitude and the scent of the wild herbs that cling to the rocky ground. It is the breath of the mountain, a sound of profound solitude and immense space. Then, there is the sound of water. It is the lifeblood of this high-altitude world. It begins as a mere trickle, a seep of moisture from the moss-covered rocks. This trickle joins others, forming small, clear streams that gurgle and chatter as they navigate the rugged terrain. These streams grow, becoming rushing rivers that plunge over the edge of the Great Escarpment in spectacular fashion. The roar of a waterfall, like the mighty Jinbar Falls, is a thunderous counterpoint to the whisper of the wind. It is a sound of pure power, the noise of thousands of tons of water in a free fall, echoing off the canyon walls for miles around. And woven into this tapestry of wind and water are the calls of the wild. The air is never truly silent. High above, the piercing cry of a lammergeier, the bone-breaking vulture, echoes as it soars on the thermal updrafts. Its call is a lonely, wild sound that perfectly encapsulates the untamed spirit of the highlands. From the valleys below, you might hear the distant bark of a baboon, a signal passed from one troop to another across the vast expanse. These sounds are not just noise, they are communication, the language of a world that operates on its own ancient rhythms and rules. Listening closely reveals a more subtle layer of sound. There is the hum of insects in the midday sun, the scuttling of a lizard over sun-warmed rocks, the gentle rustle of a rodent in the thick grass. These are the quiet heartbeats of the ecosystem, the sounds of countless small lives being lived out against the grand backdrop of the mountains. To pause and simply listen is to become part of this world, to tune into its frequency. It is in these moments, surrounded by the orchestra of nature, that one feels the true pulse of this ancient and mysterious land, a rhythm that has beaten steadily for millennia. The Simien Mountains are more than just a range of peaks. They are a sanctuary. This is a fortress of stone and ice, a world perched above the clouds. Exploring these highlands is like stepping onto the pages of a lost epic. The trails wind along the very edge of precipices that drop thousands of feet into a hazy abyss. Each step requires focus, a conscious connection to the earth beneath your feet. The air is thin and cold, and every breath is a reminder of the extreme altitude. The landscape is a jagged collection of spires, mesas, and canyons, sculpted by millions of years of erosion into a scene of staggering, almost intimidating beauty. The flora here is as unique as the mountains themselves. This is a botanical world that has adapted to the harsh conditions of life at over 3,000 meters. The most striking of its inhabitants is the giant lobelia, a strange and wonderful plant that can grow up to 10 meters tall. They stand in clusters across the plateau like alien sentinels, their tall, fuzzy stalks pointing towards the sky. Their presence adds to the otherworldly atmosphere of the mountains, making the landscape feel like a prehistoric garden. Heather trees, draped in old man's beard lichen, twist into gnarled shapes, their branches reaching out like ancient skeletal arms. This high-altitude haven is also home to creatures found nowhere else on the planet, survivors of a bygone era. The Walia ibex, a magnificent wild goat with huge arching horns, is one such resident. It is a master of the vertical world, moving with an impossible grace across near-perpendicular cliff faces. To see one is a rare privilege. A glimpse of a male, standing proudly on a rocky promontory against the backdrop of the setting sun, is a moment suspended in time. It is a vision of wild majesty, a symbol of the resilience of life in one of the world's most challenging environments. The journey through the Simians is a slow, deliberate process of revelation. The mountains do not give up their secrets easily. The weather is a character in itself, with clear, sunny mornings often giving way to afternoons of thick fog and sudden storms. The mist can roll in without warning, swallowing the landscape and creating a sense of deep mystery and suspense. It is in these moments, when visibility is reduced to just a few feet, that the mountains feel most alive and most ancient. You are completely enveloped, a small and transient visitor in an eternal and powerful world, waiting for the curtain of cloud to lift once more. On the high grasslands of the Simian Mountains, another remarkable story of survival unfolds every day. This is the kingdom of the Gelada, often called the bleeding heart monkey because of the bright red patch of skin on its chest. The Gelada is, in fact, not a baboon at all, but the last surviving species of a once widespread genus of grazing primates. They are a unique and fascinating spectacle, gathering in herds that can number in the hundreds. To sit quietly and watch them is to be granted a window into a complex and vibrant society, one that has thrived in this challenging environment for thousands of years. The scene is one of constant, gentle activity. The geladas move across the plateau in a wave, shuffling on their hindquarters as they pluck blades of grass with their nimble fingers. Their communication is a soft, complex series of murmurs, whines, and grunts, a constant chatter that fills the air. This is the sound of a community going about its daily life. They are remarkably peaceful grazers, their social lives intricate and absorbing. Males with magnificent, lion-like manes watch over their harems, while youngsters tumble and play, their antics a joyful counterpoint to the serious business of foraging. The sheer number of them, spread across the green landscape, is an incredible sight. As dusk approaches, the behavior of the herd changes. The gentle grazing gives way to a more determined movement. The entire community begins to migrate towards the edge of the great escarpment. This is a daily ritual, a journey to safety. One by one, or in small family groups, the geladas begin their descent down the sheer cliff faces. They navigate the vertical rock with an astonishing and effortless agility, finding impossibly small ledges and handholds to sleep on. This nightly migration is a breathtaking display of instinct and adaptation, a strategy to keep them safe from predators, like leopards, that roam the plateau under the cover of darkness. Watching them disappear over the precipice is a moment of pure suspense and awe. The last rays of the sun catch the golden fur of their manes as they vanish into the shadows of the canyon. The plateau, once filled with the sound and movement of hundreds of animals, falls silent. Only the whisper of the wind remains. The geladas are safe in their vertical fortress, suspended between the sky and the deep valley below. It is a powerful reminder of how life here has been shaped by the dramatic landscape, forging a unique and intimate relationship between a species and its extraordinary mountain home. Deep within the heart of Ethiopia, a great river begins its epic journey. The Blue Nile, known locally as the Abe, springs from the waters of Lake Tana before carving a path of immense power and significance through the highlands. For much of its course, it flows through a colossal gorge, a canyon so vast and deep that it remains one of the most formidable and least explored landscapes on the continent. This is a river that has shaped not only the land, but also the history and imagination of nations far beyond Ethiopia's borders. Its journey is a story of relentless energy, a force of nature that cannot be tamed. Near its source, the river shows its true power at the Blue Nile Falls, or Tissa Bay, meaning Great Smoke. Here, the water thunders over a 45-meter high cliff, sending a perpetual cloud of mist into the air that can be seen from miles away. The sound is deafening, a constant roar that vibrates through the ground. In the wet season, the falls stretch for over 400 meters, a furious churning wall of brown water carrying the rich soil of the highlands downstream. This is the fertile silt that for millennia has nourished the lands of Sudan and Egypt, the very foundation of ancient civilizations. Following the river's path is to witness a world of extreme contrasts. The cool, green highlands surrounding Lake Tana slowly give way to the hotter, drier, and more rugged terrain of the gorge. The canyon it has carved is a world within a world, with its own unique climate and ecosystems. The descent into the gorge is a journey back in time, with each layer of rock revealing a different geological era. The sheer scale of it is difficult to comprehend. From the rim, the river below looks like a small silver ribbon, belying the immense volume of water it carries on its long journey to meet the White Nile in Khartoum. The river is also a source of life for the people and wildlife that live along its banks. Small villages cling to the less severe slopes of the canyon, their inhabitants having forged a life in this challenging environment for generations. Crocodiles bask on the sandy banks in the lower, hotter sections of the river, their ancient forms perfectly still in the sun. Countless birds flock to its waters, their calls adding to the rich soundscape of the gorge. The Blue Nile is more than just a body of water. It is a lifeline, a creator and a destroyer, a central artery pumping life through the heart of this ancient and dramatic land. In the highest reaches of the Ethiopian mountains, above the tree line in the starkly beautiful Afro-alpine meadows, lives a creature of myth and elegance. This is the domain of the Ethiopian wolf, the rarest canid in the world, and the sole wolf species in all of Africa. With its slender body, long legs, and a coat of rich red and white fur, it is a strikingly beautiful animal. It moves with a quiet grace through the tussock grass, a phantom of the highlands that is perfectly adapted to its unique environment. Seeing one is an unforgettable experience, a rare glimpse into a fragile and isolated world. The wolf's survival is inextricably linked to its specialized diet. Unlike its pack-hunting relatives in other parts of the world, the Ethiopian wolf is a solitary hunter of rodents. Its primary prey is the giant mole rat, which thrives in the soft soil of these high-altitude plateaus. We watch as a wolf stands perfectly still, its head cocked, listening intently for the slightest sound from beneath the ground. Its patience is absolute. Then, in a sudden explosive movement, it pounces, digging furiously with its front paws to capture its subterranean meal. This is a slow-motion drama of survival, a highly specialized hunting technique passed down through generations. Despite being solitary hunters, Ethiopian wolves live in close-knit family packs. These packs are essential for defending their territory and raising pups. The social interactions within the pack are fascinating to observe. At dawn and dusk, the family members greet each other with elaborate ceremonies of tail wagging and scent marking, reinforcing their bonds before they disperse for their individual hunts. Their calls, a series of short barks and high-pitched howls, echo across the vast empty landscapes, a lonely and haunting sound that defines the wildness of this place. It is the voice of a species living on the edge. The future of the Ethiopian wolf is precarious. It faces threats from habitat loss and diseases transmitted by domestic dogs. Its survival depends entirely on the preservation of these unique and fragile high-altitude ecosystems. Every sighting of this elegant predator is therefore tinged with a sense of urgency and suspense. It is a powerful symbol of Ethiopia's hidden natural treasures, a reminder of what is at stake. The Phantom of the Highlands continues its silent hunt, its existence a fragile thread in the rich tapestry of life on the roof of Africa, a secret that this incredible land is struggling to keep. To journey through Ethiopia is to feel the weight of deep time. The stories of this land are not confined to human history. They are etched into the very rocks and valleys. There is an air of the primordial here, a sense that you are walking through a world that has remained unchanged for aeons. The dramatic landscapes whisper tales of immense geological forces, of continents pulling apart and volcanoes building new worlds. The unique wildlife, from the gelada to the Ethiopian wolf, are living relics, species that have evolved in isolation. Their stories a testament to the power of adaptation and the slow, patient march of evolution. This sense of an ancient world is palpable. It is in the gnarled branches of the centuries-old heather trees in the Bale Mountains, draped in lichen that hangs like a wizard's beard. It is in the fossil beds that hold the secrets of our own earliest ancestors. Ethiopia is, after all, the cradle of humankind. The land itself feels like a keeper of secrets, holding untold stories within its deep canyons and across its vast plateaus. Every rock and every river seems to have a history, a silent narrative waiting for someone to listen. The suspense lies in what is not yet known, the discoveries that still lie buried beneath the soil. Even the culture, when glimpsed, feels deeply connected to this ancient landscape. The remote monasteries perched on sheer cliffs and the rock-hewn churches sunk into the ground are not separate from the environment. They are part of it. They speak of a faith that is intertwined with the stone and the sky, a spiritualism that has found a home in this dramatic and often unforgiving world. While our journey focuses on the natural world, the presence of this deep human history is an undeniable part of the atmosphere, adding another layer of mystery and reverence to the experience. The air of suspense is heightened by the knowledge that this land holds not just biological secrets, but cultural ones too. The hidden side of Ethiopia is this profound connection between the land and the life it supports. It is a story that unfolds slowly, not in grand pronouncements, but in subtle details. It is in the way the Walia ibex navigates a cliff face, the way a gelada troop moves as one, the way the Blue Nile carves its path through the rock. These are rhythms that have been established over millennia. They are echoes of an ancient world that still persists here, a world that operates on a timescale far greater than our own. It is a humbling and awe-inspiring realization, a feeling that you are a fleeting witness to something eternal. Ethiopia is a country that defies easy categorization. It is a land of profound and startling contrasts, a place where the ancient and the modern, the divine and the wild, coexist. Our journey has been a glimpse into its secret heart, an exploration of the natural wonders that lie beyond the well-trodden path. From the fiery depths of the Danakil Depression to the misty heights of the Bale Mountains, we have witnessed a world of raw, cinematic beauty. We have seen landscapes that inspire awe and creatures that defy imagination, each telling a small part of a much larger story. This is a land that rewards the patient observer. Its treasures are not always obvious. They must be sought out. They are revealed in the quiet moments. The sight of an Ethiopian wolf on a solitary hunt at dawn, the sound of a gelada herd grazing peacefully on a high plateau, the feeling of the mist from the Blue Nile falls on your face. These are the experiences that connect you to the true essence of the place. Ethiopia's story is one of resilience, adaptation, and survival against the odds. A narrative written in the language of wind, water, and stone. It is a story that is far from over. The secrets of Ethiopia are many, and we have only scratched the surface. There are still vast canyons to be explored, remote forests that hold unknown species, and cultural histories that are yet to be fully understood. The air of suspense that hangs over this land is not a fabrication. It is a genuine sense of the unknown, of a world that still has so much to reveal. It is a reminder that in an age where so much of our planet has been mapped and cataloged, there are still places that retain their power to surprise and mystify us, places that hold the allure of true discovery. And so, the invitation remains. It is an invitation to look beyond the headlines and the history books, to see Ethiopia through a different lens, to see it as a living, breathing world of immense natural drama and profound beauty. It is a call to listen to its silences, to witness its slow-motion wonders, and to feel the pulse of its ancient heart. This is a land that waits. It waits for those who are willing to journey with an open mind and a reverent spirit, ready to be humbled and inspired by the hidden gems of this extraordinary corner of our planet. The story is here, waiting to be discovered.